Hey everybody, this is Captain Yeet here for you for another My Hero Academia Manga chapter review. This is going to be My Hero Academia Manga chapter 404 titled All Might, We Loved You. So, let's get into it. This chapter came out around like 10 o'clock. I've been trying to record my reaction for like the past hour and it just keeps cutting me off in the middle of the chapter. So I read the whole chapter myself and I'm going to just do a review instead of a reaction. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to reset my computer after I'm done with this so I can get my reactions back in. But the chapter wasn't too long, but it was still pretty good. So I guess let's review it. So at the very top, it basically, so the main point to this chapter, Bakugo, he gets back up. Well, he was already back up last chapter, but he actually does some stuff in this chapter. He's like in the fight. Bakugo's in the fight. He's not just standing on UA anymore. All the nitty gritty stuff that happens before like the action, really it was just like this one really big panel of showing that the wind currents are changing in different locations outside in the world. I thought that stuff stopped because of the whole Dabi thing, because Dabi was affecting the weather because how hot his flames were getting, plus Todoroki and Endeavor was accumulating it. But I guess, the weather still got affected, so it's still like rotating. So the weather's starting to change in different areas alongside this whole Bakugo, Deku, Shigaraki, and All for One fight. And while like all the weather is changing and while everybody's watching this live stream about Deku, Bakugo versus Shigaraki and All for One, because the fight is still, the live stream is still happening. Yeah, they didn't cut off the live stream last chapter, even though I thought they would have, because All for One got All Might high in the sky with his hands up, trying to rip All Might apart like a stick. Like, I thought they would have cut the live stream by now, but no. The live stream is still going on. Everybody's watching it and they're like praying for All Might. Bakugo, he shoots off of UA, grabs Deku's hand and starts to spin around with Deku mid-air using cluster. And he's just so fast, he's basically a blur. And they don't say it outright, but they're basically using that one move they use in Heroes Rising called X Catapult, where in Heroes Rising, Bakugo grabs Deku's hand, does his explosions and does his like a pinwheel midair and shoots Deku at 9 like a rocket. Basically, they do the exact same thing, but this time it's Deku throwing Bakugo towards All Might and All for One, and he's using cluster alongside of Deku using Gear Shift. Now, it was really cool because when Deku's finna use Gear Shift, the second user comes out of All for One, One for All, and he tells Deku to not use Gear Shift because the kickback is going to be even stronger. So that means you're going to lose and you're just going to die. But then the All Might Vestige comes out of Deku and he looks kind of sad, and then Deku uses Gear Shift anyway and shoots Bakugo off like a missile. Like, you can see him breaking the speed of sound. We see like a huge like ring in the air when you're going so fast in the air. He's like shooting off like a rocket. Plus you got Deku throwing him with Gear Shift, plus him using cluster. That man is zooming. Bakugo is zooming towards him, man. Like, he's zooming towards Bakugo. And we get the reason why he looks so sad, the second user, was because All Might, he is dying in this moment. Because when Deku was able to throw Bakugo, Shigaraki tells him that he's not going to make it. I bet the All Might vestige inside of you is looking like the real All Might. Because when you're alive, the vestige inside of One for All just look like that shadowy silhouette figure that we've been seeing of All Might. But now it's starting to take form. So All Might is starting to die in this moment. But like that, the stuff is getting intense. After that, Bakugo is zooming towards Deku, flying with cluster. He's going as fast as he possibly can. We get this beautiful panel of Night Eye when he was thinking about what he could possibly do about All Might dying in the future he saw. He specifically says, within thoughts, there's a sort of energy, I believe that now. Energy from striving for a certain future, every form of wishing. And then we get a panel of everybody throughout the story watching the live stream and people that we know in the background praying for All Might, hoping he's alive, cheering on Bakugo. Bakugo had a flashback panel of when him and Deku fought, when he was mad about how he blames himself for All Might's career being ended because All Might had to go save him when he got kidnapped from the League of Villains, and then All Might had to fight All for One, and then his powers get, not taken away, but he used like the last embers of his power, so he's remembering that. He's also remembering the conversation he had with Deku when they fought. You can see the determination in his eyes, and he's able to save All Might. When he saves All Might, he cuts off All For One's hands. Both his hands just fly out in the distance, and All For One's like, what the? And he flies past All For One, and he grabs All Might, and he said, we'll win this! Just screaming with determination. I love Bakugo's pupils like explosions. I love that. And it says, that's not platitudes. It's a sound of full determination. 404 end, and everybody, and there's no break next week. And I love this panel of the second user / Deku. You see both their faces, and they look shocked because the full form of All Might and his vestige turns back into like the silhouette. So he was dying. That's why he started to get the full form. But when Bakugo saved him, just in the nick of time. So now his vestige turns back into the shadowy form. He's back, baby. All Might's not dead. He's not dying. Aha! Baby, that's what I'm talking about. That was so dope. He was able to cut. So I'm guessing next chapter, he's going to lay All Might down somewhere and then fight All For One. So it's a 2v2. Deku and Shigaraki. Boom. Bakugo and All For One. Boom. Let's get it, baby. 2v2 tag team. Let's get it. Ah, this is going to be dope. This is going to be dope. Okay. So I can't wait. Next week, I'm going to factory reset my computer after I'm done uploading this video. Then I should be able to get my reactions. So my reaction / reviews should be back to normal next week when I do 405. I just don't know why. It just kept cutting me off near like the end. So I was like, well, I don't want to fake a review for you guys. So I'll just do a review. I'll just do a review. So next, whew, that's the chapter. So I'll see you guys next week. Thank you all for coming through. Thank you all for watching. I thank you. Like, share, and subscribe.